Do you have a hard time keeping your succulent alive? I know that I do. According to the company Verified Market Research, the market value for succulents was at $3.18 billion in 2019 and is projected to be worth more than double by 2027. So it looks like succulents are definitely here to stay, which is why I'm here to talk to you today about how to take care of your succulent. I've been researching this topic for the past week now and have found very credible information. I am going to be touching on the topics of soil type, proper watering, and sunlight. First, let's talk about soil type. It's important to choose a pot with at least one hole for drainage, like this pot right here. Terracotta pot, one hole. As stated by Deborah Lee Baldwin, best-selling author of several succulent books like Succulents Simplified, the soil needs to be a coarse, fast-draining mix which you can purchase or make yourself. She suggests a mixture of a third garden soil, a third compost, and a third pumice. Pumice is a volcanic rock and absorbs extra moisture, which there's a picture of it on this slide right here. Baldwin also mentioned that if you are planning on planting them in your yard and the soil drains poorly, like clay, you should consider planting them in raised beds or mounded soil. Next, let's discuss how often to water your succulents. Here are some tips I learned from Hicks Nursery, a gardening supply store. Overwatering is the leading cause of succulent death. If you are really worried that you might do this, a moisture meter might be a good investment for you. During the summer and spring, succulents are actively growing, so they need more water. That's why you should water about once a week or every other week. If the temperatures go above 90 degrees, the plants go dormant and they don't need as much water. Therefore, keep the watering to every 2 weeks. In the fall and winter months, you should reduce your watering to about once every 3 to 4 weeks. Lastly, let's talk about how much sunlight do they actually need. Ron Finley, a self-taught gardener with the master class, says succulents need at least 6 hours of sunlight. This means if you have an indoor succulent, you need to keep it by a window that gets enough sunshine. Finley also mentioned if a plant is leaning towards the sunlight, it's not getting enough. And if a plant has burn spots, then it's getting too much direct sunlight. In conclusion, today I've talked to you about how to keep your succulent alive and healthy. I touched on the topics of soil, which needs to be good draining soil, about limiting your watering, do not overwater them, and they need at least 6 hours of sunlight. Now I'm going to leave you with 4 suggestions of succulents that grow well in Texas, which are hens and chicks, Santa Rita prickly pear, blue chalk sticks, and echeveriae.